Welcome, all denizens of the Underhive, where everybody knows your name. Kind of like Cheers, but with probably more diseases. Hey ho. So, mutants. Now, not talk about those lovable X-Men mutants. I'm talking about mutants of Necromunda, full of boils and pus-riddled infections. So, I never played the original Necromunda. I've only been playing this Necromunda for the last year, and I've been really enjoying lots and lots of conversions. Now, when Devils of Gunk Deep was announced on the Warhammer community, I thought I'll check that out and see what it entails. And basically, I'm stoked because it's more excuses to turn every model into a Necromunda model. So, Devils of Gunk Deep allows you to play Scabbies, basically, Mutants, and you can fully customize the models the way you want. So, it's recommended, obviously you speak to your arbitrator, that you base your Mutants gang on one of the Archetypes from the book of the Outcast. And from there it has all the points and the prices of buying the models. And from there you can then buy your afflictions. But of course I suppose you could make any gang as long as your game master, your arbiter, agrees with it. But they do recommend Outcasts. And in the book of the Outcasts, obviously, they do have the points, which would actually really help. And I think it is fairly balanced if you start from there. So, for example, we have the Underhive Outcast Leader, which is 25 credits. And it will tell you your movement, your weapon skill, your ballistic skill, your strength, your toughness, your wounds, your initiative, and your attacks. Of course, you've got your main stats like your leadership and your cool and your wisdom and your intelligence as well. So if you want someone like pretty rapid, you might have someone speed 7 for 125 points, but they will have a lower weapon skill than a speed 4, for example, but then a better ballistic skill. So it's up to you. It really does tailor to what you kind of want. What kind of leader do you want? Do you want someone faster, that's better at shooting? Do you want someone slower and a bit more tankier? Because those speed 4 guys are toughness 4 as well. So I think it balances it out quite well. They've really thought about it. And then you can add your mutations on top. So obviously it's got all your special rules for your leader as per any other leader that you'll find in Necromunda. And then you have your clan houses and your merchant guilds and things like that they recommend as well. Next from there, it will tell you about your different skill sets. So for your brawler, your survivor, mastermind, weird, things like that. Which I'll just leave those up for a second so you can look through. All of these are obviously in the book of the Outcasts. But I'm just going to show you a small section of like how to price up your gang before we get into the actual juicy stuff about the mutants. So then you can buy your champion, for example, and that is a basic stat line, and it's only one option at 60 credits. So that is a fixed movement of 5, weapon skill of 3, ballistics of 4, strength of 3, toughness of 3, 2 wounds, 4 initiative, and only 1 attack. I think it's a bit pants for a champion, but depends what you're aiming for. Obviously, this guy has got a weapon skill of 3 compared to a ballistic skill of 4, so you would think he was probably more close combat, but with only 1 basic attack. But then 60 points is quite cheap. I am used to playing Goliath after all. Once again, it tells you about your skills. Then you get your Outcast Hive Scum, starting at 30 credits each. And it gives you your stats there as well. So, what can you bolt on to make those guys mutants? Well, you have the mutant basic rule, and it tells you about your brawn is primary, and then your leadership's also primary, and your ferocity is secondary. It comes with your Outcast mutations, and this is what I really like. I'm not sure if I'd roll D66 and get some random mutations, or pick some myself. Once again, depending on your games master, what they say you should do. But for me, I don't think any one of them is terribly broken, so picking, I think, is perfectly fine. But please make sure if you're part of a campaign, you check first. But we'll start at the very top. So if you did roll D66, 11 to 13. So the first thing is we have Void Soul. This mutant is immune to psychic powers, although the Arbiter may still rule that indirect damage from psychic powers like telekinetic thrown objects can still hurt them. That makes sense because you're not using a psychic power, you're throwing something at them. And that costs a whole 15 credits, which is nothing really when you think about it. If you're going against a lot of Delac, for example, yeah, that would be pretty good. My friend Kevin's got Delac, and there is definitely lots of psychic powers to be using with Delac. Next we have Eye Stalks. This is one of my personal favourites. I can't wait to customise my models having Eye Stalks. Reminds me of this guy from He-Man from my childhood. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's not massively broken, it's 20 credits. When the mutant is in cover, range attacks against them suffer an additional -1 penalty, because you could be ducked right down, I guess, and using your Eye Stalks. In addition, their vision is increased to 180 degrees. It's not game breaking, but if you really dug in with this guy, yeah. But for me, it's mainly fun. Making this guy a massive mutant. It's pretty obvious with Eye Stalks that he needs to be burnt by fire, probably. Extra Appendages is the next one, for another 20 credits. The mutant increases her attack characteristic by 1. In addition, they may use up to 3 weapons with the sidearm or melee trait of the same time. So you could get your Gene Stealer cult, Billy the Kid looking guy with the 3 pistols kind of thing going off there if you wanted to. Or, because it's attack characteristics, why not use 3 weapons, melee weapons? So this guy's got 3 knives, for example. Once again, quite Gene Stealery coterie, because of course they've got the correct number of arms, right? Horrific Appearance. So this is 15 credits. The mutant increases. This fighter gains the fearsome skill. Furthermore, enemy fighters that start their activation within 3 of the mutant must take a nerve test. So that's pretty cool. If you're going against, it would be good for, I would say, Corpse Grinders. Corpse Grinders, I'm going to try to beat the tar at you, make them take a nerve test, is pretty nice. Next we have Massive Claws. So I've got a couple of claws left over from Possessed, Chaos Space Marine Possessed, Chaos Spawn, things like that. Hell, you could even have a Crab's Claw at your local Chinese and use that on the model. Massive Claws. The mutant's unarmed attacks are resolved at Strength +1, with an armor penetration of -1 at the rending trait. So for 10 credits, that's pretty cool. But once again, forget rules. How cool would it be to give this guy pincers and Eye Stalks? That's basically a crab, right? Needle Spines is the next one. Melee attacks against the mutant are made at a -1 to hit. In addition, once per battle, the mutant may perform the Fire Spine's basic action. So Fire Spine's basic action. All other fighters, both friend and foe, within 3 of this fighter, suffer a Strength -AP- damage 1 hit with the Toxin trait. That's pretty cool. So if you don't know what that is, let's say the thing you're attacking is Toughness 4. So you need to get higher and equal to the toughness. So you need 4s or more to wound that person, that model. It's only damage 1, but That's pretty cool. Credits. 15 for that one. It's pretty cool. Needle spines. You could make a model like a porcupine, be pretty cool. Or make like the forearms a bit more like the guns from Halo. Needle guns. Pretty cool. Scaly skin. The mutant has a natural 4-up armor save, which you can't argue with that. Which cannot be improved by armor, which is fair enough. Because you would just break it else, wouldn't you? 25 credits for that. I think it's pretty cool. You could make someone look like a dragon. Really dig into your hobby bits box for this, or you could use like lizard men or a bit of green stuff and make some really nice scaly skin. That would be cool. Tentacles, once again, green stuff, really cool for this, or get a green stuff roller, make some cool tentacles. The mutant may reroll initiative tests to see if they fall from edges or other heights. In addition, their unarmed attacks gain the parry trait. Parry trait. Parry? Parry trait. That'd be amazing. Parry, hello. For 10 credits, that is pretty good. So people are going to knock you about in Necromunda all the time. Plus it looks cool, and if you are in close combat, parry is class. So you get to, I'm assuming you only get to do it once, so one of those attacks that go through, make them reroll, see what happens. Toxic blood. When the mutant suffers a wound, immediately make an initiative test for other fighters within range 1. Those who fail the tests suffer a strength dash, AP dash, damage 1, with the effect of the toxin trait. So, if he gets injured, you probably don't want to bunch up with toxic blood, but on a close combat kind of model, that's pretty cool. So they hit you, they're going to be covered in toxic blood. Not sure how you would model that. You tell me. Yeah, stick that up in the comment section below. How would you customize a model to make him have toxin blood? Interesting. That is 15 credits, which I think is pretty cool. My next favourite one is 2 heads. The mutant does not suffer penalty to hit when using twin guns, blazing rule. In addition, the vision arc is increased to 180. So that is 10 credits. So 2 heads, really easy to convert that, I would say. There are a couple models way back when in the AOS range that I liked that had heads that were split into 2, something like Hellraiser. Like the 2 heads that have been pushed together, melded together, maybe been pulled apart. That would be wicked. Or you could literally just stick an additional head on somebody. Doesn't have to be on their neck, remember. You could put it on their shoulder, on their arm, hell, on their knee if you wanted to. Just think that'd be pretty fun to do. Vast Bulk is the next one, which is basically me after lockdown. This mutant increases their wounds characteristic by 1. Pretty basic, pretty simple, pretty nice. Cost 10 credits. So these upgrades aren't much different from the upgrades that Goliath get when they first start. I don't mean the exact same rules, but an extra wound, things like that, 10 credits, I don't think it's game breaking. Haven't seen extra toughness yet, but we're on the last one now. Wing membranes. So there's quite a lot of batty kind of things out there, especially in the GW world. So vampire bats, flesh eater courts, very, very batty looking things. Chaos Space Marines, yeah, you can use anything like that. The mutant can leap distances up to the movement characteristic without making an initiative test and never takes damage or becomes prone as a result of falling. That could be quite useful. So definitely going to be a fast model, moving over terrain. If you push them, knock them off of edges, things like that, they're never going to take full damage. And it's just going to look wicked. How nice would it be to have a model that has bat wings? So I can definitely think of like the Crimson Court from Underworld. Really nice batty looking model there. That would be wicked. And it's only 15 credits. So you're thinking, okay, so you're faster over terrain. you cannot be made prone and never takes damage while falling. It's not game breaking, it's not going to happen in every game, and it looks cool. So I think these are fairly fair. That's only 15 points. I think that's wicked. So these mutations, they can be acquired in one of two ways. When adding an Underhive Outcast scum to the gang led by Mutant, they may have a single Outcast mutation purchased at the credit cost indicated, which we just said. An Underhive Outcast scum may never have more than one Outcast mutation. So definitely can't make the crabby looking guy. And that's the scum. Underhive Outcast leaders and champions with the Mutant archetype treat Outcast mutations as a primary skill set. This means they can purchase them with XP and can choose one for free when adding to the gang roster. So you choose one for free when adding to the gang roster, then you can use XP. Later on, I guess they get more mutated because of radiation, be it in the water, in the walls, in the weapons. What doesn't have radiation in Necromunda? Probably nothing. I mean, this book is pretty good as well because you have Out of the Pit as a scenario, which is pretty nice. Which is, I say this book is actually a PDF. It's a free PDF from Warhammer Community. So please download it. I think it's ace. Obviously it's free, so it doesn't cost you any money. Give it a little bit of a ganders, and it really does make you want to convert some models. And like I said, the upgrades aren't too dissimilar style-wise from the Goliaths, and if the Goliaths have been there since day one, and people don't deem those as broken, I know a couple of guys in my local campaign were whinging that I had all toughness 5 Goliaths, but there's toughness 5 Ogrins out there. How much difference could it be, really? Would you rather have a fast Goliath or a Goliath that was better at shooting? I mean, I personally would, but I don't think that's very thematic for Goliaths. So that's why I went for more toughness, because these guys are dumb as a bag of rocks, and I just wanted them to be tough. So that is the PDF covered, and a few ideas as we went along how I would make some conversions. But they do suggest starting with scum. So obviously there is a box from GW that has scum in it. That's okay. They used to have more models in a box. I think there's only 4 of them in the box now. You do get a few leftovers, so you can do some nice conversions. Of course, if you want multiple arms as a good base, you could always start with Genestealer Cult. I personally have recently picked up these guys. Quite Slaneshi looking. With my Chaos, I generally go more Khorne. I picked up a spare one of these guys back along just for Necromunda, just to convert, because I thought he looked boss. So now I've got 2. I'll probably cut that weapon off and maybe the headpiece stuff and give him a rocket launcher or something in future. But in the meantime, I'm going to use these as my base gang. So you can see on there what's in the box. So like I said, quite Slaneshi. I'm thinking more auto rifles because I've been playing Goliath for a while. Bolt guns are nice, but running out of ammo kind of sucks. Last cannons are okay, they really are. But auto guns, I'm going to give it a go this time. So standard auto gun kind of guys. Then you get auto pistol. So that's your standard kind of crew. Eventually we want to get a grenade launcher because they're pretty nice. Heavy stubber, why not? And I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get a heavy flamer. I suppose I could treat that as a normal flamer. But it's certainly not a hand flamer. For the Firebrand Coatist. I think that's a pretty good start. I'm going to aim for about 10 models in my gang. So I might need a few more models, right? So that's the basic looking dudes. Or dudettes. And I'm going to add some wings to them. Some weird and wonderful mutations. So why not pick up this box as well. Just an excuse basically to flip and pick this box up for ages. So these guys are weird and wonderful Chaos Space Marine Accursed Cultists. So once again, I like to use World Eaters. World Eaters can't use these guys. Well, at least at the moment anyway. I think they're weird, they're wonderful. Even if eventually they do become legal, I'm probably going to stick with my Jackals. But you've got 5 normal size models here. And then you've got some huge abomination looking things. Now, they're on a lot bigger bases. I probably won't be able to get away with those in Necromunda unless my Arbiter sees that I'm not breaking the game. But what I'm going to do is use these standard guys. So, tentacles, that was on the list, right? That also looks like tentacles, I guess. Extra appendages, possibly that one. I'll definitely give someone the eye stalks. I just think that model just looks cool by itself. That could be the Void one, I guess, immune psychic powers. I'm not sure, whatever you want it to be. But these guys I might use as Chaos Spawn in 40k because I'm slightly addicted to Spawn. I think I've got 8 of them. Never ever played them, just really like converting them. So even though there is one rule for mutants with bat wings, I think that guy probably is a bit big. Not sure if legally you can get away with it. Our Games Master is a very good friend of mine, the old Hendy Badger. You might have seen out there from Tabletop Skirmishers. He's just a fantastic guy, and what he doesn't know about Necromunda isn't worth knowing. I've kissed his ass enough now, so hopefully he will let me play them. But I don't know, I just think they're nice models. I'm going to assemble them and paint them up anyway. If they don't fit in, then that's fine. Also, I've been starting to paint up giant fleas because I think it'd be pretty cool if they had some pets later on as well. So you've got like your Cyber Mastiffs for Orlocks, and I picked up some giant fleas from the Kill Team Pox Walker Infected or something box. And I'm about halfway through painting them. I've got 4 of them anyway, but I've gone 2 different paint schemes. Quick airbrush, quick bit of detail. I'm going to fill in the rest of the colours, like the base, the eyes, some of the mucousy kind of glands. For later on, might have pets, might not. I'm just going to basically treat them as rats, because you can buy giant rats, and if you're infected and you're a mutant, giant rats work pretty well, but I just wanted these guys to be slightly different. Basically, I saw them on eBay, they were cheap, and I thought they looked a bit of fun. Giant fleas in Necromunda? Why not? So, to summarise, those are the basic rules for mutants. Please speak to your GM, Arbiter, and say, is it legal? What do you think of this? I mean, if GW have released it, the points aren't crazy expensive. I don't think the abilities are broken. It's just fun to modify some models. I mean, we all like our Necromunda gangs to be slightly different anyway, but to go all out and put wings on some of them, give them an extra arm, tentacles, weird gribbly bits, why not, eh? I'm going to have a lot of fun doing this, and hopefully I'm going to show them off to you guys. And one day, I might even record some battle reports. Who knows? I could be crazy. Right, thank you very much for watching, guys. Stay safe, you lovely people. Even in the Underhive, it's not a nice place to be in. And catch you on the next video.